Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of February 1st through the 7th of 2016. What a difference a month makes. Wow. I always feel like when we switch months, when there was a Mercury retrograde in the previous month, that just getting out of like not hearing the word January anymore kind of takes that away. All right. So we're already a week out now. This is good. This is really good. And you can just see it in the cards. So I'm really liking this a lot. There's a much freer feeling about this week, a feeling of moving on and being ready to move forward. Okay. That sense of leaving the nonsense behind. It's like finally things are happening, okay? And the timing is right for them to happen. Something that you've been wishing for. And the universe has kind of spoke up and said, here, I want you to have this. I don't know what it is. For everyone, it's going to be something different. But it is very, very positive, and it gives you the ability to feel that you can move forward and walk away from the nonsense. Keep that in mind. Something really good is coming this week, and I think it starts right as the month begins. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I was really hoping for that to happen. And there it is. Voila. Just getting into a new month. Absolutely amazing. The motion is going to continue. All right. It started last week. That little bit, when you saw it stall. Yeah, I can't even talk. Saw it starting to speed up when Mercury went direct. This week, it's like, yes, you're going forward. And you're going forward on your own. I can't emphasize this enough for so many of you. This is a year of becoming stronger in your own being, not just self-reliant like in the financial realm or something like that, because so many out there already do that. You take care of yourself. But do you take care of yourself? Do you remember to stop and balance life out and take enough time for you and worry about you first, okay? Because that's really how it has to be. In order to have good relationships, you must first be totally good with who you are and not be wishing for someone else to fill a void and make it happen. That isn't what will do it for you, okay? It goes the other way. You first, and then you let people in, and it just is amazing, the results that can be had. Now, there are things, like I said, there's a moving on going on this week, but it's a good moving on. So there are things being eliminated, like finally. Maybe a year ago, they were painful, not knowing what to do about them, but we're leading up to that real major change in March. So it's getting closer, isn't it? It's already February now. I like this. I really, truly like this. Hopefully, everyone is getting some sleep because there's just so much going on. It makes it really, really difficult. And sometimes there are actually struggles, like with your beliefs and trying to be realistic about things, because you have your hopes and your dreams and the things that you think should be happening. And then, of course, there is that reality check. So it's always best to I want to say, seek wise counsel and make sure that when it comes to things in your life where you need some facts, that you're not just relying on what you're hoping for, okay, and hoping that it works out. If you really want to see a certain outcome, make sure you're speaking to the proper people, all right? So that's very important. But like I said, this is another week of moving forward. The motion keeps on coming. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. You're so ready to break out, and you're not just going forward. You're going forward with a plan, one that will help you take back your life. Like, I'm done with all of this. This is who I want to be. This is where I want to head, and I just want to rise above it all. So, a lot of times you've heard me say, this is something that you need to do. Yes, it is. But does that mean that everything about it needs to be done totally on your own? No. You need to make sure that you surround yourself with the people who can help you get the job done. I mean, it could be people who are, doctors, lawyers, whatever. some kind of a teacher or a mentor, someone who helps you achieve what it is you're trying to do. Because you're going to find that things are just going smoother and easier. I really like this. Some of that sadness, it's dissipating. It's like like I said, it's time to break out. All right, time for major, major change this week. And as you approach March, I think you start to get a hang of what it is I'm saying, because it's creeping into your life. There's more motion every day. And you're going, yes, my future is coming. Now, what am I going to do about it? It's amazing. There have been hard times. There have been losses. There have been all these things. But finally, once again, the light within you that you kind of forgot about for a while, it starts to shine forth again, and others can see it. You know how you always have like those days where people ask you, what's wrong? And maybe you really don't want to talk about it, but there are just things. But this feels so much better. Where even though you haven't accomplished everything yet, you feel good about where you realize, okay, I'm getting this done. I'm getting this taken care of, and I will be able to move forward with my life. Backwards. Comes out backwards. Don't forget to take time out for yourself, okay? Don't give too much of yourself to others. Sometimes when that light shines forth, then everybody wants a piece of it. Be very careful with that, because it can be too draining. This year is about you and fixing your life so that you're always good, and so that you're always there, for everyone, and being that beacon of light. But it's hard, how like if you leave the light on and you walk away and just let it burn when it doesn't need to be, what's going to happen? It burns out. Exactly. So don't overdo it, okay? Just remember to always take time for you. So when you give of yourself in bits and pieces when you have that uptime and you feel up to it. Don't allow yourself to be drained 24/7 by others who need you. Okay, now, I've never said that before. I don't know what that was all about, but it's there. It's a message I think many of you need to hear. Now, here's the thing, and I've laid the cards out. I found this really, really interesting, and I almost feel like it's an actual situation for many of you, all right? Getting your facts straight this week, okay? This is in with the movement. This is in with the details and the rapid movement that's going forward. Make sure the facts are ready to be presented properly, and that you have, Mercury is still in shadow this week. You have another full week to go until the 14th, but there should be a lot less confusion and a lot less fog. Make sure that you're very, very clear on what you want to see happen in your life, because now is the time to get it right. And I see the possibility of people butting heads, okay? And I don't think butting heads in a bad way. I think these are conversations that need to take place, very honest conversations, where instead of trying to mask things over, it's time to just pull that cover off and say, this is the truth. This is how it really is. This is what's going on. So, this is like opening a door to an opportunity for change. And it's also, I think, emotionally fulfilling in a way that you need to remain balanced, okay? Because I still see patience involved this week, but it's patience with balance. And there's also a gentleness that comes into your demeanor, which, when you're taking such action, that sounds kind of like a contradiction, doesn't it? All right, like I have all this movement and I want to go forward. Well, you don't have to be mean about it. You can be nothing but kind to people and still effect the changes that you need. So let's put down a few more cards and see what else we think we have going on this week. I think February is off to a very positive start. I don't know who, where celebrates, here in the USA, we have Valentine's Day coming up on February 14th. And it's not a day, no matter what my situation is, that I've ever really given much thought to. because it does not denote love to me. All right, it's more of a greeting card day, I think. But it's good to have a day to acknowledge those that we love, and they don't have to be romantic interests. So let's keep that in mind as we head towards that. That whether you have a Valentine's Day to celebrate or not, that we want this month to be about love and shining forth your light for others to see. So I really like these cards. It shows me that there are major changes in the wind and there are things coming your way. Now, I don't want to get ahead, but next week on the 8th, we have a new moon. Okay. Now, and then it's followed by a full moon on the 22nd. So I think we're actually seeing some things here that are for a little later in the month. These two moons are very significant because they're going to be setting you up for those big eclipses coming in March. Yes, I've been talking about them for a while, and after all the craziness that happened with the eclipses in September, know that these are really, truly amazing. Now, the one in March, I'm going to make mention of the solar eclipse on March the 8th while we're here. And I know it has nothing to do with this week, but in my own, like, tarot kind of way, what I feel about it is that it's an eclipse in Pisces, okay? And Pisces falls at the end of the zodiac. I feel that this is where you're going to see that really big ending take place. Now, why is it showing up for this week? Well, when it comes to eclipses, you very often see that energy, that message that the eclipse is bringing, coming in maybe even a month before. So if it's March the 8th, let's look at the calendar and let's go 5 days either way and say from the 3rd to the 13th. So where does that put us if we look at February? Yeah, this week and next week. I think you're going to see some hints at where things are headed. And, you know, you're going to be surprised because the endings are big, but the recovery is great. And the change that comes into your life is great. I absolutely love this. Wow. I think we should just stop because there's so much. I could sit and talk to you about this all day. I think there's some really awesome days coming. Just don't drop that ball. Make sure you keep up that pace with your changes. And you're going to be happy when you get to April, May, and June, okay? Because you're going to see that you're really definitely on that road to recovery. And beautiful things are going to come your way this year. All right, that is it for me for this week. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you here again next week. Have a great week, everyone.